There we go. I think that's sound. We just had to
Oh,
unplug.
and no video though. Shoot. Yeah, hold on, guys.
Probably got some sound. I'm not sure if you got video yet. We unplugged the camera and just plugged it back in. We're going to try it again.
No. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. We're going to try to get this back in working order. And as you can hear, Bella's unhappy. Oh boy.
Can you open up your screen again?
No, if I stop that. Testing. Oh, we have sound and we have no
We're waiting
video.
for the camera to refresh.
And I'm sorry about this. Bella's a little bit fussy because I handed her off mid-feed. I'm going to keep trying here. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Our camera got unplugged. We're going to have to... The microphone's on the camera. Replugged it in. Tried a different spot. That worked before, but it's not working right now. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try this one more time. Oh, wait. No. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, guys. Now we're started up. We weren't started up yet.
Oh.
So we should be bouncing back any second here. Let's see what happens. I apologize. There it goes. There it goes. Yay. There is a delay.
Yeah, our streaming signal is also kind of going up and down, but that's related to our network, not us.
Yes.
But it seems okay at the moment.
Bella trumps YouTube. Don't worry about it. It wasn't Bella. It was our adjusting of the screen angle seemed to have knocked off the sound on our camera. I tried to just replug in the camera and sound came back, but the video did not.
Didn't recognize the video feed. We had to reset it.
Our stream is signal's definitely bouncing around a lot from internet signal. So we'll deal with the technical difficulties. I'm thinking, yeah, all good now. Good. We have confirmation of that. So we'll start over. We have a lot of people in the room at this point, which when we first started, we were still getting people.
We said hello to my mom and Carrie. We're hanging out.
Brainstorm
and asking
Acres.
If Brainstorm was new or had changed their name.
Suburban Hillbillies in the room at this point. Valerie D is in the room. Who else joined us since then? Maniac Grammy's Homestead. Are you new as well? Welcome. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Okay. Awesome. Yep. Okay, so we got everything up and running and going. We might have a few more people join us. Sorry about the delay there. But I do have, for those of you guys who watch the Instagram and Facebook page, I did list a series of pictures of items that I usually forage through the year, or you can forage through the year. I lost my burp rag, sorry.
So you're going to probably need that.
I'm like looking at a baby who just finished a bottle.
Bottle is going to be burping.
Bottle's going to be burping. Baby's going to be burping. So I did post a series of about 10 pictures there. I did not post what they were on the Facebook page, although on Instagram there is a list there. So we'll go through some of those. That was a good one.
Getting a lot of Suburban. We saw that on our end. The buffering seems like it's evened out a little bit, but
yeah,
we have our green box is going all the way to yellow, orange, red. Off
that tells us about the connection speed.
Yeah, but we're up and okay for the moment, and
it's bouncing.
That just has to do with our. Oh, there we go.
It's bouncing. It's bouncing. I apologize.
We have a little weather in the area, not
yeah.
And it could be, I don't know.
It could be anything. It could be our internet, because we only have 2 internet options in our area, so we have the better of the 2.
I think there's a new one now, but...
Is there?
Yeah.
And someone's butt's going off.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what a way to start the show. Feeding babies, sound difficulties, video difficulties, and internet difficulties. But before we get into all the different things to recognize for foraging in the winter that is there year round, because those plants don't go anywhere unless they're annuals. Does anybody want Bella update pictures? If so, I'll go through a couple of them. Like you need a grandbaby. Okay, pink is preferred. I like, girls work. I'm not a big fan of pink myself, but yeah, we do have Bella trying to do some tummy time, which
I think my cousin just finished that blanket for us.
That is the blanket that your cousin made.
Just sent that up a couple weeks ago.
But Bella doesn't like tummy time so much. We're having to work on it. She is eating like crazy now. Actually, the reason why we had a bottle is because
Carrie has twin goats. Yesterday.
Yep. But reason Bella is taking some from a bottle is because she needs more than I could give her. So we're doing that. Hungry baby. And I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, by the way. This is Bella's grandpa, my dad, with holding her. Now, he's not actually sleeping holding her, but it just worked out to be a really cute picture of those two.
Some point after Thanksgiving dinner.
It was the next day.
Or was it the next day?
It was the next day. Otherwise, I would have put it on the Thanksgiving Day pictures. We do have Bella on Thanksgiving Day, sound asleep. And yeah, so anyway, so we had a good Thanksgiving. We had family here. We had, basically, my parents were here. One of my sister's family was here. So a few kids and all of that. I didn't get any big family pictures.
Actually, we had 6 adults, 3 kids here.
Yeah. And I really didn't take many of those pictures other than of my dad. My dad took some and my sister took some. But I was basically Bella holding most of the time. So, or Bella feeding, or, the things you do with a newborn. She has to get frustrated to motivate her to crawl. The funny thing, Suburban, is when she's on tummy time, like if she's on me, like she loves this position on me. If she's on me and I'm leaning back, she'll lift up her head and look all around and everything. Tummy time, she doesn't do that, lift her head as much. She will to turn it if she's frustrated the way she's looking, but she likes to try to pull her knees up under her. So I think that is, some good core strength for eventual crawling as well. But she doesn't like to do the head up and her looking around. She gets really frustrated down in that position unless it's on me. But I guess that goes for most things. She likes being held. So yeah, and we even have one puddin' sighting picture. So puddin' sighting, that's a sleepy puddin' on Thanksgiving Day. She actually got a lot to eat as well. I think a lot of people gave her some scraps and things.
Some milk bones.
And some milk bones. And yeah, whenever my parents are here, they give her a lot of milk bones. So she was probably going into food coma as well. But Suburban had to burp puppies and kittens. Wow. So, okay. So anyway, so that's the Bella update and a quick pudding update. Did go through. I did want to go through what you guys did for your Thanksgivings as well, so we could come back to the plant things. What did you guys have for your Thanksgiving this
Especially
year?
anything that's a little different than the normal turkey or roasts or whatever.
We did.
You're pretty traditional Thanksgiving.
We did pretty traditional Thanksgiving. We had a little pre-Thanksgiving
Had
meals.
some appetizer hors d'oeuvres when as people got here.
Yeah, and we still had some of those pickled eggplants that you made before. But what else did you have on the spread?
Some Italian and some Spanish hams and sausages. Those are just pre-sliced packs, little packs that I could buy. Had some different cheeses that were all laying around, and didn't buy anything special, just things that we had.
Which we always have a bunch of different cheeses.
Yeah, usually 2, 3 to 4 different cheeses. So we had some goat cheese and some English blued cheddar and some Gouda, and I think that was probably it. And then
in the center, or
we
on
had
the
some
placemat.
we had some hummus.
Oh yeah.
We had some crab cakes. I did not make the crab cakes. They were frozen, pre-made, but they were
Okay. They were good.
They're
decent.
Phelps, so they're
Yeah.
good, and they're kind of a standard.
Yeah.
A few of those, and a little tartar sauce, and then we had our homemade spicy pickled marinated eggplant.
Yeah.
So just something to chew on
Yep.
before we got ready for dinner, in case things weren't ready or people were still. We were really only waiting for one family to arrive, but in the end, people really didn't eat any of it. So I was surprised.
Not much of it. They
Very,
had
very little.
A few little bites. but
Kids didn't like any of it.
I ate a bunch of
The
it.
ham was salty,
Yeah.
which of course it was, the prosciutto and the serrano ham.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody tried the eggplant. I wasn't sure anybody would. We like it, and
Yeah.
we have it, and it doesn't go bad. I've been eating it on sandwiches. And then the cheese, and actually people didn't eat many of the crab cakes. I thought the crab cakes would disappear in a moment.
Especially my mom loves crab cakes normally, but I think she
Your
ate too much
niece ate
earlier.
one, and she actually liked it, and she's
She
a little picky.
She's getting better. She, I think, will become a foodie.
She was the one who didn't like any of the hams, or because they were all salty, taste like salt water. I said, well, you want to try the crab cake? And she goes, oh, I said, it's kind of like tuna
She
fish.
tries
And
things.
she goes, oh, that's good, right away. So
Yeah.
it was,
She's one who will try things. She doesn't necessarily like everything, but she will try things. Her brother will not try things, or you have to bribe him
ooh,
to.
bacon cheeseburger, eggs over easy. That sounds good. That's a good meal.
Valerie D did all traditional Mexican for Christmas.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
We like that.
What's included in your Mexican
Yeah.
Christmas? Can you list a few of those things? That would be awesome.
Turkey can be traditional. Turkey mole is a traditional fall or spring thing, but I'm not sure you did that.
Hi, White Picket Fence. What did we have? We had pretty traditional for us. We did turkey, green bean casserole,
I did do green. I didn't do the mushroom
soup.
soup, but I did, sweet potatoes and a cinnamon and orange syrup. I made all that from scratch.
Cranberry sauce 2 ways.
2 ways, raw, ground, which we talked about last week, and cooked and milled through a food mill, so it sets up like a traditional jelly. So we talked about doing both of those last week, how that's done.
Yeah.
They come out really good. They're really easy. There is no real big secret to it. I like to add a couple cinnamon sticks and pull them out, and then sometimes some clove or star anise or allspice, just lightly. A little bit of orange even in the milled one. So that's probably a one-up from
And that's
the can.
one thing my niece was like, ooh, this is good. It tastes like orange. It has some orange in it. She pulled that out. Yep.
Yeah, so there's so cranberry, traditional bread stuffing. I did have some homemade bread and some bought bread that were blended in. It had some rye sourdough in there. And what
Hi,
else?
Grandma Karen.
Traditional gravy, just lightly
gravy.
thickened pan gravy. And
My parents brought a bunch of
mashed
pies.
potatoes. Your parents brought the pies.
Pies from a bakery that's
I
on
made
their way
homemade
here.
whipped cream,
Yeah.
did traditional vanilla, nutmeg, whipped cream, hand whipped it because I don't want to get the mixer out. I actually saw, I think it was an Instagram or Facebook with the guys from Stone Barn doing the traditional race of the old style hand beater mixer, the handheld mixer, versus the chef and the whip to see who could make whipped cream faster. and the chef, once again, one of the chef crew beat out the hand mixer.
Yeah.
There are a few tricks to getting it done, especially like keeping it really cold, putting it on ice helps whipped cream much faster. So I think the chef had a few of his own cheats, which we would do in the kitchen against a traditional mixer, but he beat it.
Yeah.
And
Suburban said cranberry sauce is the best with sugar, brown sugar, orange, and grandma.
yeah, grandma, yeah, that works. Yeah, that's really good. I used about half brown sugar or 2/3 brown sugar and about a third white sugar. And I put in the orange zest, and then I cut up the orange sections and put them in the one I milled. And then milling it, they all either mill down or pull them out. The other one, I grind in just the orange, and yeah, I just grind in the orange. I use white sugar on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think brown sugar, a light brown sugar, is definitely appropriate and adds just a touch more flavor than a white sugar. And I think the complement of orange I put what was it? Sometimes you can put a drop of white rum or vodka in there, but it doesn't make a huge difference. No, I had just a touch of vodka cooked into the orange cinnamon syrup for the sweet potatoes.
Oh.
But it was fully cooked out, and that was done with brown sugar and a drop of maple. So it was mostly, I had a bottle with about a couple drops in it from cooking vodka sauce, tomato vodka sauce. I just wanted to get used up, but that can add a little bitiness to it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, making cranberry sauce is a good deal. It's not that hard.
No. I bet I could do it, but I
And
haven't.
it sets up, if you do the milled style, the cooked and milled style, it sets up hard. You don't have to put in any pectin or starch or anything. There is so much pectin in there. It sets out hard just like it came out of the can.
Yeah.
So.
Traditional Thanksgiving.
No
on the
sweet
21st.
potatoes. I screwed up on that one. I mean, I guess between sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes, you get more trouble without the mashed potatoes, but it seems like you need some sweet potatoes of some type, whether it's a puree or a souffle or just the candied style.
Yeah.
I did refrain from putting the marshmallows on the sweet potatoes. We did not put any bruleed marshmallows.
No, it did not.
32 guests, 2 turkeys. I hope you had 2 really big turkeys.
Yeah.
Because that's...
Little
yeah.
left. Little.
I had about an 18-pound turkey. That was the biggest one I could find easily.
Thanks,
It's all gone, or I think at this point we did send a pretty generous amount back with Cindy's family and her sister's family, since neither one of them are big cookers and they were here, so we sent them reasonable amounts. But we have some sides left, but the turkey's pretty much gone. I do have the carcass downstairs. I need to get that in boil. I have a few chicken carcasses laying around. I'm actually low on stock right now, I would think. I was digging through the freezer. It's so full of chickens that I think I used most of it. I've got some pork chicken blend stock for like ramen, but that's a little different. Oh, and I froze down 1 quart of extra turkey gravy. So that's prepared turkey gravy is frozen for something in the future.
Yeah.
For your chicken pot pie or something like that. So yeah. What else?
Who else? What else did people make? What was in that Mexican? Oh, now the cat wants to join.
Helix, get out of here.
What was in that Mexican Christmas, Valerie?
Not Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Sorry, Thanksgiving.
Helix.
Helix is determined to be on a lap, I think. Yeah. So
Helix is looking not happy now.
he just got thrown off the table twice in a row. So.
$4 at the senior center. Yeah, that's pretty good. You know, Thanksgiving, when you can do it on a pretty good budget, especially when you got the supplemental that an institution gets. Surprisingly, you can get away with making a lot of food on that budget.
Yeah. Okay, and Suburban made 2 huge breasts, one for them and one for the dogs.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Puddin' definitely got some scraps.
She's gotten a little bit.
Yeah. So, she's
also
gotten
made
some gravy, too.
Lasagna the day before and beef stew with some thick egg noodles.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I guess 2 days before for the lasagna and then some beef stew before that. Yeah. Cindy's parents came early so they could avoid the traffic and silliness. Yeah.
Helix is definitely getting jealous, by the way.
He just pouted and ran off.
But did Helix like the bird video? You know, I haven't put it up yet for him. We don't watch our big TV at all, and actually I don't even know if the internet fully extends into that room.
I don't think we have. I think it's internet capable, but our Wi-Fi is on the farther side of the house and has to go through 2 concrete walls.
We have a U-shaped house, so the walls are...
It's not enough.
It's not great. We need an extender, but it was on our old internet, but couldn't get it figured out for the new one. It was just odd.
Tamales, of course. Tamales for every major event. I worked with...
Curie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I worked with a lot of Guatemalan, Mexican, and otherwise, and we always had tamales running around the kitchens at Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Oh, they're having Mexican-themed food for Christmas dinner.
Oh, that sounds good.
Villery.
Yep.
That's a good plan. I don't know what we're going to do for Christmas. I think it'll probably be
quiet. I think it's just going to be
year.
us. I'm sure we'll do something decent, but I don't think it'll be a big dinner.
Yeah.
I don't know. We might do a beef roast or something, but it's not going to be something huge. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get a couple of sirloin steaks or something.
Do you still have a ham from the pig?
I do have a ham. I don't know
that
if
might
it's
be
worth
too much
doing
for us.
it. I think it would be. I think we'll probably do it when my parents come back in January.
There you go.
I mean, I'll cut pieces up. That was the one that was brined with a little extra spice.
Okay.
So it's brined spice, but it'll cook up as a fresh style ham. But yeah, I would. I don't think we'll do anything over the top because they just won't use it that fast.
Suburban hillbilly. Okay. Adult son has just moved home and has decided he's vegetarian. Now, one thing I noticed on I was going through and updating the pasta webpage, by the way. Still working on that, and we could get into that because there is a coupon code going on right now until the end of the month. But of all 9, we have 9 recipes, pasta recipes up there. They are all either vegetarian, vegan, or
easily converted by leaving out some
option. Yeah, easily.
And in fact, because I run them at the market that way, partly because our farmers market, like many, has quite a few vegetarian, vegan, and health conscious people looking for alternative diets. So when I do prepared foods or tastings, I try and make them easily convertible so I can set aside portions, or I can prepare, porkless or meatless or whatever.
Now, those are all pasta dishes.
Yeah, just to improve that. I think we mentioned before, I really like Otto Lengi. He is a chef who I think has worked in Europe. He writes vegetarian cookbooks. He is not fully vegetarian, but he's written a lot of vegetarian cookbooks. He may be vegetarian now. He, I believe, is also Israeli. And so a lot of his cuisine comes out of Middle Eastern and some Mediterranean roots, and he has really, really great recipes. My recommendation for vegetarian is serve about 3 vegetables at every meal. Serve 2 starches, high protein starches. So if you think about international cuisine or traditional cuisine, there are things that naturally go together and they form pretty much complete proteins to replace meat. So if you have corn and you have it with wheat, so that's a complete protein. If you have rice and you have beans, that forms. So you have certain amounts of proteins that are in one and not in the other, but when you put the 2 together, you get all but your 3 proteins that come only from meat. Now, if you can add in dairy or eggs, and you're not doing a straight vegan meal, it becomes a lot easier. Using lots of yogurt and cheese and eggs to push things forward. You can use soy. You can do lentils, lots of whole grains, whole grain rices. So anytime you use a grain and a bean, a legume, or you blend and you do those combinations, or you add in corn, you get a complete protein. It also makes it more interesting. So if you look, I look to international cuisine because that's kind of the best sources. Areas that have impoverished climate. So much of India, parts of Africa, parts of the Mediterranean, Greece, southern Italy, where it's hot and dry. Look to those hot and dry places, hard to grow things. That means meat doesn't have a lot of excess things to eat or enough water. And so those diets and flavor profiles are going to be heavily vegetarian, even if they do eat some meat. And they tend to be pretty exciting. So yeah, I work with doing lots of stir fries, lo meins, different types of noodles, even rice noodles, whole grain noodles, using rice and grain blends, grain bowls, soups and stews and hashes where you're bringing it all together.
Mm-hmm.
It also means sometimes you can roast off things or prepare things that take a little bit of time, and you can serve them for one meal as a side, and then you can take the leftovers and you can build it into that next hash or bowl, allowing you to use it for 2 or 3 meals and sort of reinvent it. It also means you can have 5, 6, 8 different things in your refrigerator that are all building a plate that's complex in nutrition, or what we call what's the term that's being used right now a lot? Nutritionally dense or calorie dense, but that being nutritionally dense is different than just having a lot of sugar and fat, so that you don't worry about, like peanut butter, like a low sweetened peanut butter is high in fat, high in protein, high in calories, but we don't really worry about it because it's nutritionally dense in good things. Peanut butters and nut butters, hummus, which is of course got a lot of sesame seed, tahini usually, as well as chickpeas. All those things come together, but it really pushes your use of vegetables and gets you out of your common green beans, broccoli. You got to move into, you got to look through the store, and you got to go to the fun store or the markets, or work out of the garden. And that we don't eat vegetarian all the time, but I'm pretty strong as a vegetarian cook, and it does make food more interesting. But it's tougher. It takes a little more time in the kitchen. You got to think in advance, and you may have a little more preparation.
A lot of those things the same dishes you can add a meat to for those who
you
eat
can always
meat.
add, yeah. So you can do boiled or pulled meats or chickens or grilled items, or you can stir fry in meat to the side, like Asian style, where you could actually have a stir fried meat that's in some sauce or chilies or soy, which is added in addition to a rice or noodles and vegetable stir fry, adding in the tofu or the beans or whatever else. Nuts work really well too. People are eating a lot of nuts. Nuts are expensive, but they're a great source. If you eat too many nuts, they do have some trace minerals and sometimes can pull contaminants from the soil naturally. There are people that eat very, very high vegan nut-based diets, and they find either they get an intolerance to them or they get some toxicity. So, like anything, you can't just pound away nuts only and think it's going to feed you. But generally, we don't eat enough nuts in our diet as would be optimal. So introducing in nuts and seeds, so that can include sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, all of our traditional nuts, as well as things like cashews and peanuts, which aren't really true nuts. Yeah, but I really like going to the lentils, peas, beans, crock pot. You work those during the day in the crock pot, and then you finish it out with other product during the quickly when you have when you got the 20 minutes or 30 minutes to finish dinner, you've already got your beans cooked. So yeah.
Brainstorm acres had 10 inches of snow Wednesday night, followed by another 10 inches in Arizona. You said in northern Arizona.
I heard there was a lot coming through California and then over into Washington and southern Oregon and yeah. So I guess you guys got some of that. We've gotten a little rain today. We have not gotten the snow.
Not since that first
about a foot or so we got.
Yeah, we did get a foot earlier. It's gone
I was
now.
Sitting on the driveway. I got to put it back on the truck again still.
Yeah. They live off grid and had the power go out, but not at their place.
We have a generator now, so we can run pretty much full power.
Yeah.
As long as we're not doing anything crazy. But that's our neighbor has a generator and one other neighbor. So there's 3 of us that, are all lit up and going, and so that helps because I've got refrigeration and things that I really need to keep going.
And you have a video coming out on that. Oh, cool! You'll have to check out Brainstorm Maker's page and see how they handled the snow in their off-grid Arizona home.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Never been to Arizona. That's one of the states I've never been to.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't think I've crossed that one. There's only like. I could probably count the number of states I haven't been to on one hand.
It's primarily the western states that
of the 48.
Most of the western ones that I haven't been to.
I haven't been to the Hawaii or Alaska either, but of the 48, I probably maybe 5 or so states I haven't been to. But yeah,
I saw that I-40. I saw some news reports that there was a lot of closure, and some of it had a lot of snow, and some of it just had a lot of slipperiness.
Yeah. So I'm going to start going through. If we want to keep, if you have any food questions you want to throw out there, I'm going to throw some questions at you guys going back to the plants, because the other thing we do, which we haven't done in a while, is some forage food items. But a lot of people don't know how to identify these plants through the seasons. So I just wanted to kind of pull out some pictures of what some of these look like at this time of year when things are pretty much dormant. So,
1870s
hello.
jumped in there.
So, yeah, road trip, Tina. Yeah,
That'd be fun, not immediately, but at some point.
Yeah, that would be fun. 60 miles southwest of the Grand Canyon.
Well, we got to the edge. No, we didn't get quite to the Grand Canyon when we went out to
Red Rock Canyon.
Went to Red Rock. We could have gone to the Grand Canyon, but we looked at the amount of driving. We were in Las Vegas and had a car for a day or two, and decided that the excess driving would limit the actual usefulness, and just going and hiking in Red Rock would be a better day trip. And so that was pretty good.
Okay. So, first picture, anybody want to guess what this plant is? We'll keep chatting, and I'll scroll back and see if we missed anything here in a minute. But as you go through, this picture, these are pictures I added onto Instagram and Facebook.
2 days ago?
Yesterday, I think. Put a series of 10 pictures together of 10 plants that could be foraged at different parts of the year, and what they look like right now when it's not high season for most of them.
You got to put a video together, 10 things you can forage in the winter, and
some of these are forageable now, but not this one. Those of you guys who know what this one is can put it on there. It is what's remaining of the flower part of this plant, so it's not Queen Anne's lace. I do have a different picture that will include that. Yeah,
Queen Anne's lace, well, I guess it can get a little stocky and hang out into the fall. It tends to eventually wilt and fall over.
No, it's up and
is it
still up. I have a picture. No, it has the nest.
Yeah, but eventually...
it usually stays
dries,
up. It dries, but it stays standing a lot of times, unless it gets knocked down by the snow.
That's true, yeah. Maybe
it's not chives. It's actually a lot taller than chives. It can be anywhere from those 2 feet to about 4 feet. It doesn't look much like it. It's really just the center of the flower that's left.
It's probably going to be a hard one to start out with.
I know. This one is probably a hard one. It's actually, I'll give it to you guys. It's wild bergamot or bee balm. Obviously lost its petals, and that's the center that's left. That would have had the seeds.
1870s might have been on it.
Purple when it's still in flower. Yes, it is purple. There are some cultivated types that are different colors. It looks like I think it looks like a sea anemone, the way the flower is. Kind of got these thin, perfect purple things. So there are some red and other colors that you could get for your garden, but yeah.
Here's an easier one.
Yes, this next one is easier, although you probably can't tell.
Not grapes.
No, it's not grapes. You probably can't.
We do have a few grapes on the vinyl. We have a lot of commercial grape orchards, and here the problem is by this time most of the raccoons and everybody else and deer have sucked off even the raisins that have shown up.
Oh yeah, we don't even see the grapes on ours. But this one, you might not be able to tell exactly which type it is, but you should be able to tell. Yeah, that was the last one. The bee balm Monarda. Yep. Monarda fistulosa. Okay. This one is
there we go.
sumac.
Yep.
Noah's Ark. Now we have.
Elderberry is not a bad guess, judging distance-wise.
It's the wrong color for the berry, though.
Yeah, and the elderberries would have been gone by midsummer, but yeah, I mean it's hard to tell size-wise. Yeah. They're actually just a little smaller than the elderberries.
So this specific sumac is actually one of the smooth varieties. That's a winged sumac. We also have staghorn sumac, which is the one most people know of. Both are edible. So the one that's not edible, by the way, would have bigger white berries on it and would grow in the marshlands. So this is an edible variety.
Cindy drank most of our elderberry syrup, thinking that it was that it was sorrel or hibiscus syrup.
Yeah.
However, if you open up the hibiscus syrup, there's large pieces of hibiscus, dried
It's
hibiscus
still in it because you didn't
in
strain
it, which would clearly tell you that.
Well, I didn't even
It's
see the
different.
container it was hiding. Both containers were hiding. Actually, I was searching
Well, I
around for it.
pushed them all in the back.
Yeah.
I've had them for a week or more, but because I think I made that last Sunday.
Okay.
Pushed them in the back because we didn't have any, and I needed room for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
lemonade tea,
Yes, it is lemonade tea or za'atar would have been
dried,
the other
and do
dried.
the za'atar spice.
Yep.
Yep.
This one is another one that will produce a red berry, but the red berries are gone at this time of year, and the red berries on this plant. This is a small one. It can grow very much bush-like, so this one was just easier to grab the leaf.
It's a speckled leaf on that one.
It's silvery on the
So,
underside,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that's why I went and took one and flipped it over. Baby me missed it.
Yeah, well,
Easter.
and I
Yes,
had
I
done
did.
so that
Unintentionally.
that elderberry actually wasn't in syrup. That was in honey.
Yeah, it was.
I
It
had
was
made
sweet.
that probably about I
was
made
sweet.
it this spring or a year ago.
Last fall, maybe. It's not bay leaves.
Last summer? I think it was made last summer. It might have been in a year.
This plant, by the way, is one that you eat the red berries that come out.
Looks
in
like
the
a bay
fall.
leaf, but laurel doesn't grow in our climate.
No.
It's too cold.
Yeah, so this one would.
Buckthorn's not a bad guess, but it looks similar from a distance.
I actually had someone on the Facebook page make a good guess to this. They thought it was something in the cherry family.
Yeah.
The leaf shape is correct, but the underside silvery is not what you would see with the cherry.
Does cherry have a little notching on the edge, or no? Not really.
I think it might be slightly serrated.
It might be a
I'm
little
trying
rough
to-
too.
yeah. But yeah, so any other ones? The key is the berry, little red speckled berries.
Due in the fall.
Yes, they're ripe in the fall, and they're tart and tannic. Not everyone knows you can eat them, and they are considered invasive in Michigan. You're not allowed to plant that one at all.
Don't need to plant it. It's invasive.
It does spread pretty easily. It's actually a nitrogen fixer and helps the soil. And this is all old field land. Any other guesses? It's actually named after a plant that would not grow in this region. I've given a lot of clues. I guess I should just give the plant at this point. Not
Gooseberry?
gooseberry.
No. Gooseberries grow low to the ground. They
Yeah.
kind of cover the ground.
This bush, this one's a small variety, but this bush will get like 8, 10 feet, 12
least,
feet
yeah,
tall,
yeah, it can
and
get big.
just as wide. So it's a big bush, although it eventually falls apart on itself a little bit.
There you go.
Autumn olives, yay!
Man, 1870s is on it.
Got it.
Is that Todd tonight, or who's usually
It's
Todd who
Todd.
jumps in? But
Yeah. Okay, let me find the next one here. This one, I actually don't know which variety. This one should be semi-easy. If you just say, not choke cherries, this is autumn olives.
yeah,
So this one is a tree that you can eat and suck on the inner bark of, especially in the spring.
the bigger tree behind those scrawny, scruffy.
The scrawny scruffy in front. You can't see it well because it's small on the screen, but it's the scrawny scruffy one in front.
Oh, I thought we were talking about.
This.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This
Okay,
clearer.
it's actually
on
the same
webpage.
thing. The big stock tree in back is the same
It's
thing.
actually the same, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know which type other than a general category, so that I made a guess on Instagram, but never heard of autumn
It's Todd.
olive?
Yeah,
Or
it's usually
it's
Todd there. Yeah, usually if he pops in.
yeah, because this, it's a little late. It is a white pine.
Yeah,
It is a white pine.
it's a long needle white pine.
Yeah, I think it's a
super-
northern white pine, or yeah,
Probably
but yeah.
super resinous.
Yeah, so you
Not a
could-
blue spruce.
No.
Blue spruce has short needles.
This one we go by the bark. Here's another.
We do have
tree.
a lot of blue spruce that are. I think they're mostly planted, but very
Yeah.
pervasive in Michigan. Now we had an interesting thing going on yesterday at the farmers market. There's a guy who does
yeah.
birch, yellow birch, which is different than white birch. Yellow birch has a lot of medicinal properties and is used a lot through the northern Native American. And he has land up north in the UP, and he brings down birch and he cuts them and does some ornaments and a variety of different things. But he brought down some fresh branches, and he had some true hemlock.
Exciting.
Yep. Oh, there she is. True hemlock, and had some. Because a lot of times in this area we call hemlock is really a small version of a red juniper. It's really a juniper.
Cedar.
A red cedar. Red cedar, which is
true cedar.
He had true cedar.
Yeah.
A northern white cedar,
Yeah.
and then he had a second type of cedar. One of them had nice tight cones on it, and one has, they're not really cone, well, they're not the developed traditional cone. It's it's more of a bell-shaped cone. But they were both seeding out at this point, and we were knocking seeds out as they dried a little bit onto the table. And Nabi had come by. She'd taken a week off, and we were hanging out.
Nabi's the foraging guy.
And Nabi's buying. This is funny. She's buying branches, which would have been used probably for decorating or whatever. She's buying branches from him, and the farm, Bonamigo Farm, Louis Bonamigo's there. And for one time, they're actually sort of not on work mode, hanging out. And we're all looking at her like, Nabi, you have 200 acres to play in that are yours whenever you want them.
Yeah.
And you're buying, Well, this cedar, cedar is juniper. The red one is.
Eastern red cedar is the juniper tree.
But there's other cedars, and this is not a red cedar. It's a white cedar, different leaf, different. So it's got slightly different properties. So anyway, she's buying these two, and we're knocking the seeds out of them, and she wants to make tea with them, with the branches or the needles, and we're looking at the seeds, and one has a really, really tiny seed. They're both small, and the other one has a winged, and it's just a little filament, and the other one is a winged seed. It's a single wing, and there's a little seed at the bottom of the wing. And we tasted the white cedar, which had the smallest seed, and it just exploded like cut wood. It was incredible. I mean, just the tiniest seed. And we're like, wow, there's so much flavor in that. And then we tried the other one, and it was way, way more mild, and it was the winged one, which was a little bigger, and we were just all sort of thinking about how they getting those seeds out and what they taste like and how they'd be used, and then, of course, making the tea. So it was kind of a neat... So you had some pretty... Louis knows so much about plants. Nabi knows so much about using and eating plants. Yeah. And then this other gentleman's fairly knowledgeable about the northern ones. He does a lot of maple and birch sap harvesting in the spring, and so the three of them, and they're right across from my table, so it was kind of fun. It was a slow market, so near the end it was kind of fun. We were hanging out and all chatting, all looking at chewing on plants. So.
Okay, now I do have another tree here, and I'm learning the different barks of trees to be able to identify them in the winter. I'm not as good at it, but this one I can always identify. It's a dark, kind of shaggy-ish bark on this tree. It produces a fruit in the middle of summer, end of summer, that is edible.
Does it sound more like a Newfoundland bark or a hound bark?
Ha 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 ha. It's a rough bark. So, is it rough or is it barking? No, sorry, dad jokes. But yeah, so this is another tree.
So we've got a number of these that are quite large in our around our property.
And it will drop its small black fruit in, when is it, August? July to August? In that range. And some of them will be very, very good and edible, and some will not be as good. It'll have a fairly large seed in it compared to its cultivated cousins. So there is a cultivated variety of this.
Which comes earlier in the season.
It does come a little earlier. It may be.
Oh, by the way, those cedars that we were chewing on, none of them give off juniper berries. By the way, our cedars and back junipers, we actually have juniper berries on them right now, and I have collected them. They're smaller than cultivated ones, but I do collect them and
not a walnut.
Them. So
we only have one walnut tree on our property, so I do know which one it is.
And walnut is not as nearly as shaggy as this.
No,
this is very shaggy.
Yeah, it's
deer like to chew on it in the winter sometimes,
especially the younger trees.
Yeah.
In fact, if you have cultivated varieties, you have to protect them so that they don't.
All the fruit trees.
All the fruit trees you have to protect so they don't eat the bark off of them. But not a walnut tree. It's not actually even a nut tree. I give you that clue. It's a fruit tree. So not pecan.
Pecan. No, we have some starts, but
Yeah.
we're rare
We're
to
gonna
have
have
some.
pecan. Not
Let's
yet.
have some northern cold hardy pecans are pretty rare around here.
Not walnut, not pecan.
Common fruit tree though.
Yeah. Trying to see. Horehound grows like in.
We hear a lot about horehound.
We
I'm
don't
not
have
sure
it.
what horehound looks like exactly.
I don't think we have it here. But I don't know where he's going. Any other guesses for this dark color? Bears fruit in the summer.
You can smoke the wood.
Not pawpaw. Pawpaw's actually a smaller plant.
Yeah.
This one will grow like to 80 feet, maybe
We have some
90 feet,
we
100
have some
feet tall.
in that range at our house. Yeah.
Yeah. Not persimmon. I want persimmons.
We're gonna plant some persimmons for the next season.
I actually found we ate some persimmons, and none of them had seeds. I found one seed in one, and I went and put it.
These were the
in a pot.
Asian, the fuyu
Yeah.
cultivated. They're probably sprayed with growth retardant. They're near seedless.
Yeah.
Cherry, there you go, Noah's Ark.
Oh
So
yes, it's
wild
a
cherry.
black cherry. It's a wild black cherry.
Wild
tree.
cherry, which
You
has
can eat the cherries.
Very good medicinal properties. Black cherries, especially over the tart cherries.
Yeah.
Also used in native and almost all traditions use black cherry. It's extremely good for gout, for reducing purines for gout, among other things.
Yep.
But if you look it up, cherry of all the fruit woods is probably the most medicinal.
Very similar to mint.
Mint, okay.
Okay. Okay, we have another one here for you. Now this one, I don't expect someone to be able to necessarily get the specific type. But we have this growing everywhere we make. It does also have an edible fruit. It usually spreads right along the ground.
It's not mint.
It's not mint. It's not poison ivy. I get that because there's a leaf at 3.
Got lots of poison ivy.
But it's lost its leaves at this point. This one will keep its leaves. Sometimes these leaves will turn red as it gets colder. Cherry doesn't do well.
Yeah, cherry likes a little cooler. It likes some water. It does great here. We're in the middle of
Not
the
a strawberry.
highest number of sweet cherry growing in the country, but it almost all goes to canning and dried cherries.
This one will form more of a vine along the ground. This
Strawberry.
Is that's
No.
close. It'll also have thorns. Strawberries don't have thorns.
No,
You
strawberries
can't
just
see
have
that in
pears.
this picture. Yeah. It's definitely one that a lot of people complain about if they're hiking because it will carpet areas with its vines.
I don't know how the dog runs through there sometimes.
Yeah, she does, and she's got short fur because it definitely snags on you. So, not strawberries. Any other guesses? This one, it's Suburban had Bing cherry tree in my
We just
childhood.
planted
Yeah,
some
we
of
have
Bing
some.
cherry this
We
last
have
year. It'll be a couple years before
4 Bing cherries. It's actually not a raspberry because
They're
raspberry
close.
canes have an arch to them. These canes go straight along the ground.
But then it's in
But
the
it's in
raspberry
that family.
Yeah.
Yes, it's in that family.
Blackberry in the blackberry family.
It's
yeah.
closer to
It's
blackberry,
a
so
form of a blackberry.
I'll count that. It looks very similar to blackberry. It's actually a dewberry, but you wouldn't know that without knowing the fruit and such. So close, but yes, you can actually make tea out of those leaves as well as the raspberry leaves.
The one thing that you didn't take a picture of that we found wild and talked about is these.
Oh yeah.
So these are been sitting around for a while drying.
Oh, I don't have. Yeah, those are the cracked nuts. Darn it! I just dropped one on the ground.
These are wild hazelnuts that we let dry. We pulled them out of their burr.
Yeah.
And
There's one down there somewhere.
there it
Right
is.
there.
They're about half size of cultivated ones. We did find some that were already bearing that were in our backyard. We didn't realize they were there.
Some wild ones. Yeah.
And so that's what these are. I toasted them. I probably over toasted them a little bit. It was about 5 minutes, and then I popped them out of their shell.
shells.
I probably could have popped them out of their shell first. So they're small and
So we're
quite
playing with those.
dark toasted, but
You're going to taste it. How does it taste?
tastes good. Although it's
Hazelnuts.
pretty, I've got it pretty toasty.
A little over toasted.
That one's a little bitter, but I'm not sure that's a toast. Part of what I was told was, we're going to have to figure out what the varieties are, and some of the hazelnuts are going to eat real nice, and some are not.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out and keep the ones that are eating really good. Dewberry, yes.
Yeah, I think that's just maybe a little over toasted. Yeah, no, they have to look. Yeah. Okay, I do have another one. This one is going to be a harder one too. It is on a stalk up about 2 feet from the ground.
Really? Hazelnut for thyroids. I didn't know that. I just know they taste good.
This one, this is also a picture of the flower and what it looks like all dried out once all the petals fall off of it as well. Usually has a lot of tiny, tiny flowers at the end of this one. So, a lot of tiny white flowers. That's a clue when it's in season. About 2 feet off the ground. You do have a cultivated version of this one too that comes in different colors, like usually pink, I think, as well. So
I didn't see that slide when you popped it up, actually.
This one?
I mean, picture's not real big on it.
No, yeah, our picture's tiny, so if you're on a computer, you can pull it up bigger. I think even on a cell phone it would be better. But that's this one.
Yeah, we have about a 2x2.
Yeah.
Picture. Okay.
So you know which one it is.
Well, you might have to tell people what that one is.
Yeah, this one is going to be more medicinal than edible. Yeah, so little white flowers, 2 feet tall. Not Queen Anne's lace. Haven't gotten there yet. Although good guess on that because it does have little white flowers on it.
Yeah, the Queen Anne's lace kind of has the lacy web
Yep.
of the...
And Queen Anne's lace flowers, when it goes to seed, it cups up and turns into what they call the bird's nest.
It's true.
So it's not that one.
Yawning.
A little tired. It's actually yarrow. So yarrow, you can actually use the leaves, make teas out of them. It does help. I have some dried. It does help with colds and flu and such in the winter as well. So, yep. Next one. This one is the seed pod from a flower that used to be a yellow flower with 4 petals, little heart-shaped petals on it. It grows on a stalk that can be anywhere from about 2 feet to, I think huge ones can be like 4 or 5 feet tall.
Really going to have to help people through these.
Yeah, this one is, I wanted to collect seeds, so I'm not sure if there's any seeds left in this. That's why I was happy to see them. Yes. So we have yellow yarrow. Oh, yeah. The cultivated ones, you can get a lot of different colors. Usually the wild ones are white. But this one is a yellow flower. Bigger, it's probably about the size of about a quarter, or between a nickel and a quarter in size. Not okra. This is wild. We don't have okra growing wild here.
We can plant it, but yeah.
Yeah,
milkweed. No, that has a big pod. This is much. Yeah. This is much.
This
smaller.
Is actually that's the hard thing. You can't get perspective on the size here, but this is much smaller. It's probably about 1 inch long.
I think you got to tell people what it is.
It's evening primrose. So
see, nobody knew that.
Well, keep in mind there's a delay too, so I wanted to give people time. This one we've already talked about.
Yeah, so there's your classic juniper.
Yeah. Red cedar. Eastern red cedar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that we do have here, and you can make gin with it if you want.
Well, you make sauerkraut or sauerbraten or lots of northern stews have a few juniper berries thrown in there.
See how far behind
I worked with a bunch of juniper berries with a bunch of more northern European chefs.
So the juniper here, the last one was yarrow, not mallow, but yarrow. The next one, let me find it.
That one you should probably get.
I think people can get this. Now, I'm just showing the berries on the end of the branch.
Well, that's the most useful right now.
It's basically, you might have some leaves on the branch of this. It's also a bit thorny.
The deer and squirrels and birds might be taking some of them.
Yes, I've noticed that the plants that are near the paths are stripped of its berries. The plants that are growing in a big bush, in the center of the bush, they still have their berries. But that's because they're very thorny. And I don't think many animals want to get into the bush. Yes, there you go.
Yep.
Rose hips. Rose hips.
And our wild ones are pretty small. They're super high in vitamin C, so they're a good thing to eat. You can just suck on them.
I did find a bush I could reach some of the rose hips on our path. I had Bella on me, so I wasn't going to go into the brambling rose bush with her on me. But I was able to pull some, and I still have some from last year, and you can make tea. And I think Lizora was talking about making rosehip wine and rosehip jelly.
Yeah, rosehip, either one of those, you typically add some sugar to it, but you can... rosehip jelly is really nice. You'll find that in Middle Eastern syrups and jellies. Most of their pastries are actually flavored either with orange water or rose water or rosehip fillings and jellies. So it's really good. Yeah.
Okay, Noah's Ark, what's this one? This one is for you. There are seeds still on this, and there are actually 2 names besides the scientific name I would take for this one. I'd have to remind myself of the scientific name for this one, actually. But this one, you should know, it has small white flowers on the end of it. It spreads out, and then it curls up as it dries up.
Michigan marijuana?
No. This one, you do have to be careful when you do harvest it.
Has a look-alike.
It has a look
deadly. There
similar.
you go.
That's deadly. Yes, this is Queen Anne's lace, so they got it on that one, or wild carrot. So it still has all its seeds in the middle there, so it hasn't dropped them yet. But they are up and anywhere from about 3 feet to 5, 6, 7 feet.
Some can get pretty big.
But you do have to make sure you know which one is which, because the poison hemlock, which is not a tree, is actually looks similar, not exactly the same.
What's Noah's Ark saying, oh please, about?
Because I said it was for them, because
yeah.
I think Queen Anne's lace, yes. Because I think that was an answer given twice before. I'm not sure if it was Noah's Ark who gave it before both times, but on other ones. But I know Noah's Ark gave it on one of them.
All right.
Anyway, so those are all the pictures I've taken. There's actually some more stuff out there. I should probably do a video. I got to get stuff going on that.
Had a bud that looked like that when you were younger? Yeah, I don't think it really looks so much like that. I was just laughing because on the other side of the state, they just opened up for legal recreational marijuana sales today, and there's news stories of people all tented and standing out in the cold all night long and such over, and it all started in Ann Arbor on the other side of the state.
Yep.
We don't have anything here yet, and that's not really our thing, so we don't really care, but it's becoming a big thing around here.
Hillbilly folklore called it trigger weed.
Huh.
Okay. And by the way, one other little announcement. I don't usually post these, but I'll post them there. We hit a little milestone on our channel without doing anything but live videos for the last couple months. We did hit 150,000 views on all our videos. So I do want to thank you guys for watching. That was awesome. We're getting close to a subscriber milestone as well. We're about, not extremely close, but we're coming up to about 4,000 subscribers in not too long. I think we're a few hundred away from that. So, I don't know. I got to get back on the videos. I have a lot of footage I could go through. I'm going to finish up the pasta webpage and that stuff first.
Trying to hurry stuff up, running behind for the holiday, sweet spot for the holiday season on the pasta business, which is keeping me really busy.
Which I guess I should mention one more time, because some of the people have probably entered after that, is that we're running a special through the end of the month, end of the year.
Free shipping on $50 or more. through our website,
Yep, and
West Michigan Provisions, PostInProvisions.com.
WestMichiganPossumProvisions.com.
And yeah, so if you're looking for gifts, we do have a really, really nice gift basket that has 6 bags of pasta. It has some of the olive oil from our partner company friends, and then there's some other things like a olive or pepper paste and balsamic vinegar in a really nice basket. That's for your really, really good friends and family. I think it's probably $135 with free shipping on that.
Yeah. It's a nice size basket.
If you're looking to do any orders and you make a note in your order that you're following us, we'll try. A lot of times I throw in something special. I get you an extra either a tote bag or I throw in an extra bag or something. Yeah. So do let us know because we'll probably kick something in for you.
Do you still have those pasta angels?
I have just a few. Okay. Some of them aren't perfect. I'd have to go through and look at them.
You want to tell the story on those?
There was a woman that came to me, a little white-haired lady, Italian lady, that hands me a variety of different pasta shapes glued together and dipped in basically white paint.
Yeah.
It looks like an angel, and she threads them with the string, and then she would
ornaments.
Give them to all of her grandkids and to friends. She'd also give a little baggie with all the pieces, tell them how to make them.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Do you like them?" I said, "Yeah, they're nice." She goes, "Would you like me to make you some?" And she says she's never sold them before, but she's given away thousands of them over the years. And I said, "Oh, Amy made an order just a little bit ago." Well, I haven't obviously been on my Wix account, but we'll work on getting it at you pretty quick, and I will keep a lookout and throw something in there for you.
Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, if you want to," I said, "What do you want to charge me for them?" She didn't want to charge too much, and so I said, "I'll take 50 of them." That was last year, and the last summer I sold them. I just sold them for a couple dollars. And I assume she just did it to pass her time. I'm not sure she needed the money or didn't need the money, but it got her a reasonable amount of money for them, and so I sold a bunch of them off, gave a few away, and I still have a few, but some of them the paint was on the string on the ribbon, it wasn't perfect, so I would have to look at which ones I think are great to send out, but I don't know. If you want one, let me know. I'll throw one. I'll try and find one if it looks good and throw it in there, but they're handmade by a little old gray-haired lady.
Okay, what's the
Haven't
difference
seen her this year.
between the two olive oils?
That's a good question.
Yes.
So we have, so Carol and Tony are friends of ours and sort of business partners. They have their own company, and we just partner in some of the retail sales.
They're based out of a neighboring town.
Neighboring town, yeah, and we're all part of a small business network.
No, they don't grow olives in Michigan.
They don't grow olives. Carol's family does in northern Lebanon, and so the Eden olive oil variety is from her family's estate. I think they have. It's been in their family about 200 years, and I forget how many acres. It's a small plot, and so half of their allotment now comes here to her, and the other half they keep for their family for use. It is quite on the lighter side. It's got nice flavors, a little pepperiness, a little bit of butteriness, but it's nice and mild. So that's theirs. The other one, the Kadisha, is from the consortium. It's the same place where they get them pressed. It's the USDA recognized and certified for pressing and importing. So it's all legal and done right. And so they, but it's from their consortium of a variety of growers in the area, and most of those olives are grown at a higher elevation, which changes the soil and climate slightly. And those olives are, I would still say, medium in their flavor profile, but it's a little greener and grassier. There's some pepperiness, like all good olive oils, but it's not quite as the little peppery bite. Eden Grove. They took the U it's QA, no U. Okay. In fact, the first year they had a misspelling. It had the U in it. It's not supposed to.
Kadisha like that?
Yeah, I think that. God, I think there may be an IE, but I have to look at. It's close.
Yeah.
But these are native olives. They're basically limited to no spray. They're traditional groves going back hundreds of years. So olives are actually, they root out into groves, and they continue to grow new wood on the outside while the wood and stalks on the inside tend
dies.
to die and decay, so that you have these rings. And a typical, unfertilized tree, which none of these would be fertilized, are basically would yield like 1 bottle of olive oil, sort of your average 1 liter. So you need a lot of olives, but they go back to the Sumerian olives or the very, very early Mediterranean. In fact, probably
in their region.
Yeah, in their region is where they believe olive oil first was cultivated. Olives were cultivated to be pickled and eaten and to be used. So they go way back before Greek and Roman and Spanish olives. They'd be predecessors to their Sumerian.
And if you look actually at their
we'll send you a link to their webpage.
I'm actually was trying to pull up their old tree.
Oh yeah.
And see if I can.
You can
save
copy
it.
You can copy the image.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it and try to pull it.
So olive trees, they have at least a dozen trees in their area called the Sisters of Noah, which are thought to have been certified to be in the 5,000 to 6,000 year old range. They are the oldest existing olive trees in the world.
Our camera is frozen again, you guys?
Yeah, maybe.
Yay. But hold on. We're still going, but our camera's frozen. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think we look
frozen.
Frozen.
Oh no. Okay, well, we'll keep talking if you can hear us.
I think we're here.
No.
Nope, not there.
It'll catch up. It's got a 25-second delay here.
Yeah, we're gonna catch up. Okay.
I
don't
hopefully.
know what happened.
Anyway, sorry about that, guys.
I don't know if we bumped something or we just lost signal.
Yeah.
So the two olive oils are very similar, very historic, traditional. They are extra virgin. One of them, the Eden, is sent to Italy the last few years and has received a silver medal in international judging for quality. And Carol is an olive oil expert. Part of her profession is food sensory work. And so, it's a great product. So I think they're both nice, but I would pick the Eden if you want to do light things, finished salads. They're all good for hummuses and hummus and putting on cheeses like feta or into yogurt. And if you want a little more assertive, just slightly more assertive for putting on like salad greens and things, maybe the Kadisha.
Okay, where is the image here? Sorry, I'm trying to pull up these old trees. They're amazing.
Did you put it on the desktop?
No, I put it in this folder. It's there. Okay, sorry guys. I'm not sure if this is going to work.
If anybody has any other cooking questions or comments, you can put them in here as we're getting into our later end of show.
Oh, maybe because it's not the right format. Darn it. Downloaded the picture. It's not the right format.
It's not a JPEG.
Yep. So, anyway, let's see here. Ready for really tired tonight. Go to bed. Yeah, we're kind of past our time anyway here. It's choppy. Yeah, our internet's been kind of weird. But yeah, if you go on to, here's what I'll do. I will link the page that has a picture of this really old
tree. Why don't you just link their website?
Yep.
They just got back from Lebanon just a few weeks ago. So they were, again, in Lebanon during the harvest and the pressing, so they could oversee the exact harvest time. And then also to be at the presses and to oversee some of that.
So there's their webpage. And that's actually the part of their page that has these old trees. They have some of the oldest olive trees in their village documented, at least. So, anyway, trying to see if there was anything else we missed. Yeah, that's about it. And somebody is getting a little bit fussy and fidgety, so I think we should say goodnight. And we will be back next week for another show, 9 o'clock
Bring your
Eastern Standard Time.
cooking questions, whatever your stories or things going on. That's great.
Yep. If you have any specific questions you think of during the week that you're not sure if you're going to remember by the end of the week, just hop on our Facebook page and put them there. And
typically, there's a little bit of Instagram running between 3 or 4 different accounts also.
Yeah, so you can always send us your questions from those other formats, and we will get them answered on the live show next week. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then, you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.